All right, so when Final Cut Pro announced the magnetic mask, I was super stoked. I thought this would be a super cool feature. And then I tried it and was disappointed. It just wasn't really working the way I'd hoped. It was having all these glitches. Over the next few weeks, I've gotten some use out of it and I've come to love it. And here's the particular feature that really blows my mind. So I'm editing up this music video. I'm just starting it out and I was experimenting with one of the shots here and I'll show you what I mean. So first off, let's go ahead and do a quick grade. This is log footage. All right, so what I'm going to do is use the magnetic masks for specific effects. Instead of going to find the magnetic mask here, we'll actually do this. Say I want an effect. One of the ones that I've enjoyed doing with the magnetic mask is bad TV. And instead of dragging it onto the clip, which I would normally do, you drag it onto the subject. So we'll do our character here. This is Hype McCormick, a rapper, and this video is Missed Calls. When it does come out, I'll put it in the description. And I'm just gonna put it over his entire body. And then if you've used this before, analyze. And what this is going to do is it's going to apply the bad TV effect to the object that we're dropping it onto. Depending on the clip, obviously, as I'm sure you experienced, it's going to go better or worse depending on certain things, but this clip looks like it's going really well. The background and his silhouette are easily distinguishable, and so we've got our grade, we've got the bad TV effect mask. So I'll turn this off right here, and then you can see just him is affected by this bad TV effect. Now, particularly, that's not actually the look I like. If you go in here, you can go to invert. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. This magnetic mask effect attached to effects. Because what I was doing before is I would stack clips and I would have a magnetic mask one and then I'd put all the effects on the one below and I would not use the mask on the ones below, which I'm sure everyone's done before. You can do it all in one clip. And so this gives it a really cool look, because one of the things that I think the magnetic mask is not good at is just replacing a green screen. Like in a lot of ways you can do that, and a lot of situations will work for that, but it's a lot better at distinguishing certain parts of the clip from others so you can affect certain parts. So for this, even though maybe it's not perfect, we could go in and adjust the mask, we go in frame by frame, it's still really quick, creates a nice effect. I wouldn't say this is a final product, but it could be if you wanted it to. The other thing that I really love, if I bring color wheels onto it and I drag it onto his person, and I'm sure there's ways to use the same mask for multiple effects. I haven't quite figured it out yet. We'll just quick analyze, we'll let it do its thing. And whether I want to grade him or grade the background differently, I have that option. And again, it goes without doing any additional clips. We don't have to add a clip above it or below it. And so it's all going to stick together in one little package here. Okay, so if I go in here, turn this off, and then I can go into the color wheels and say I just want to desaturate the background. Okay, so this is going to desaturate him. If I go back into my effects, I can go in and click invert. And so now we've got a little bit less saturation in the background. If I go in here, let's just black and white it almost. And maybe the highlights will boost those. So this is pretty quick. It gives it a pretty good look. And we can actually maybe even darken the background. Have him pop a little bit, and you can feather him. We'll feather him there, and we'll feather on this one too. That gives his character a little bit of a pop. He pops out on the screen a little bit more. And again, you know, there's a million things you can do. The other one that I enjoy is the blur, adding that obviously to his person. We can add another clip there. If we analyze this, the main thing I'm doing here is inverting all these masks because I like to affect the background, because if there's any imperfections, like you were doing like a green screen, like totally cutting them out of the clip, then it kind of shows up pretty easily. But the imperfections that come with magnetic mask aren't super obvious when you're just affecting the background or making these subtle changes. Not that bad TV is all that subtle, but I think you know what I mean, that it's not totally redoing the clip. It's not like the colors are totally different or the background's totally different. So if I go in here, click invert, and look at that. Now it's almost like a portrait mode on iPhone. And do these all have their specific uses? Absolutely. But they're good tools for different sort of effects. And this is just a quick run and gun sort of thing that I was doing, but if you had certain scenes and maybe you could set up your scenes in a way that you actually knew you're going to be using these effects in post, you could have a lot of fun with it. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions about the magnetic mask in Final Cut Pro, let me know in the comments. Catch you on the next one.